President Ketumile Masire has passed away, as we have been reporting, and that of course happened last night. He was 91. Masire was admitted to the intensive care unit in a Gaborone hospital over the weekend. He was the President of Botswana between 1980 and 1998. Let's just take a look at this piece talking about where he was and what he did and his entire life.
Mahatma Gandhi was a fighter of peace. Therefore, to be associated with him in any way, it's great in itself.
Ketumile John Masire was born on the 23rd of July 1925 in Kanye, Botswana. He is the second president of Botswana for the Botswana Democratic Party from 1980 to 1998. He stepped down and was succeeded by the then Vice President of Botswana, Festus Mogae, who became the third President of Botswana. Prior to this, he was a leading figure in the independence movement and then the new government, and played a crucial role in facilitating and protecting Botswana's steady financial growth and development. In 1961, Masire helped found Botswana Democratic Party, BDP. He was in the formation of the party and served as its first Secretary General. In 1965, the Democratic Party won 28 of 31 contested seats in the new Legislative Assembly, giving it a clear mandate to lead Botswana to independence. In 1966, Masire became the new nation's Vice President, serving under Seretse. He also occupied the significant portfolios of finance and development planning, which were formally merged in 1971. 5 days after the death of Seretse, Masire was elected president by secret ballot at the National Assembly on the 18th of July 1980. Masire's terms were characterized by an emphasis on developments through regional and international organizations.
Fire agreement, which came into force on the 31st of August, 19 these parties shall agree on: 1. The formation of a new Congolese National Army; 2. The new political dispensation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo; 3. Free, democratic and transparent elections; 4. The draft of the Constitution which shall govern the Democratic Republic of the Congo after holding elections.
Masire was chairman of the South African Development Community, vice chairman of the then OAU. He was also the chairman of the Global Coalition for Africa and a member of the United Nations Group on Africa Development. He also served as the Chancellor of the University of Botswana from 1982 to 1998. In August 1998, while flying with his staff to a summit in Angola, his executive jet was accidentally shot by an Angolan Air Force MiG-23. The plane was damaged and Masire was injured, but the co-pilot was able to make a successful emergency landing. He was awarded the South African Statesman of the Year award, one of the few African leaders who have relinquished power voluntarily. A spokesperson for the Promoters Award, Ambassador Kapembe Nsingo, said about Masire, "He is indeed a leader of exceptional qualities."
There is proportional representation.
The story is that you had this Botswana, including traditional leaders, whose sense of commitment to the liberation of South Africa was so strong. That person didn't say, "I'm a chief. I can't keep an AK for terrorists or something." But so strong was that sense of commitment that South Africa must be free, that you could get a Linswe to take a position like that. You know, I'm not quite sure what he said. He went to his colleagues there in Gaborone, that, "Oh, we had a nice cup of tea," and and the reason he didn't, he was worried that some of those ministers might panic. When he gives an accurate report, to say P.W. Botha and Peck and all these people were saying Botswana will ban. Then some of those ministers might say, in which case, President, please let's block these ANC people. So he decided not to panic them, don't tell them. And he didn't. So Botswana didn't panic. So what I'm saying, these stories I'm telling you about Botswana, they are an extraordinary story about the character of a people. A story that Amimpongwe tells. You know, when it's correct, we sit with Mwalimu here years ago, and Mwalimu is very interested in what are we going to do with the rest of our continent, so we discuss that. And indeed, as Ami says, Mwalimu says, look, I'm your convert, ready to do whatever you want me to do on the continent, I'm your messenger, send me anywhere. Now this is Julius Nyerere saying that to me. Again, that says something, not about me, but about that caliber of leadership. That you have that quality of leadership. Mwalimu Nyerere is my teacher, my mentor, my leader, my whatever. But he has the grace, the discipline, the whatever else. To say to this younger fellow that he brought up, it's clear that you are thinking and wanting to do things that are going to be valuable for Africa. Forget that I'm your leader, I'm now your messenger. How many leaders like that do we still have on the continent?
Also, an advocate of women empowerment.
Well, let us admit, women have had a disadvantage. They have the disadvantage of looking at our homes, at the disadvantages of looking after our children, looking after us to look smart at freedom squares and public places. Meanwhile, while they're playing that role, we're doing nothing to advance their cause. And it's psychological that because they have held that backward position, not just in Africa, but worldwide. And we must really it must be an international uprising to give women the status they deserve. After all, as I said in the address, women create problems. And when problems come up, then we leave them. And it is they who suffer, whether it is in the Sudan or in the Somalia or in the Congo or wherever. Every country that has had refugees have had refugees because there are problems there. And when men went out as refugees, women remained at home and suffered all the consequences, the invading marauders play havoc on them. And it's time they were given a chance. After all, men are mainly breadwinners. Women are the people who run our affairs. Why don't we let them do that to the full?
Masire has done in 12 years what the bulk of African leaders have failed to do in 3 decades. Lehana Tsotetsi, SABC News, Johannesburg.